space. I'm riding high, I'm wild with grace. Feel the joy on my face, ooh, on my face. I surrender.
Please help me welcome our guest speaker, Allan Hardman.
All right. We're cooking here, huh? Music. Oh, God bless you guys. We got to support these guys. CDs on the back table. If you don't want to take the CD home, buy it for your friends. Buy it just to help. I mean, support them. That's why they're here. And they love what they do, clearly, and let's love them back with our support, huh? It's just beautiful. Thank you. Whew. I'm cooked. Where do we go from here? You know, we called the talk today Celebrating Our Divinity. But before we can celebrate it, we have to recognize it. We have to honor it. And in the Unity and all our New Thought churches and most spirituality, we say, everything's one, God is love, we're here, it's us, cool, you know, omnipotent, omnipresent, all those things we say. And then we go home and kick the cat, you know. There's a church near where I live, over in the junior college neighborhood. It has a marquee out in front and they change it about once a week. And most of the things that they put up there are about faith. And I work this word faith a lot, like faith in God, faith in this presence. And that works, but it doesn't work sometimes. When people come to my door, you know, telling me about their religion, if I'm in a mischievous mood, I will ask them, I say, you know, there's been gods and religions since humans started walking around and trying to figure out what was going on around them. How can I know that the religion or the story that you're telling me is the real story after all these other stories that I've heard? And they say, well, it's in the book. It's in our book. And I say, well, there's been a lot of books, and there are a lot of books. How do I know that your book has the story that's true? And they say, it's in the book. The book says this is the right book, and this is the true God. And I say, well, how can I actually know that? And they say, well, you have to have faith. And that's where they lose me, actually, frankly. Because I don't even know what the heaven that is. Faith. I have learned that I do invest my faith in things that don't return value to me, like my ability to control the outcomes of my life, for instance. You know, one thing, I've invested a lot of faith in that, and it turns out I can't do that. And invest faith in my assumptions about what other people are doing and why they're doing it and what it means about me. And I get very invested and have faith in the fact that I know what I'm talking about. Had to give that one up. So what I'd like to do today is use our minds to wrap around this divinity idea. Only because faith didn't work for me and my mind works for me. That's why. So here's that story. We came into this world with that knowing of the truth of who we are because nobody had told us we weren't it. Remember? We came into this world singing and dancing and playing and laughing and crying and angry and all of the truth that simply arose in us as the truth of who we are based on life itself moving through us. You know, it wasn't something we learned, it wasn't something they taught us. It was something that was our nature, and we didn't question it, we didn't doubt it, we just were present with that beautiful truth. And God, don't we love infants especially? Oh my God. Some of you have heard me say this before. I think that when we go to an infant and we hold that infant and we look in the infant's eyes, there's nothing coming out but love, like just pure acceptance. There's no, boy, you got to have bad hair day today, you know? There's none of that. There's only love, because love, that kind of acceptance is when there's no judgment and no rejection, there's acceptance. And we had to learn that other part. So we hold this infant and we look into the infant's eyes and we just bask in this coming out. It's the only place we get it, you know? We don't get it from our friends, partners, lovers, friends, neighbors. We get it from infants. Pure, unconditional love. And if we have an opportunity, we drop into that same thing with the child. We don't suggest that the infant's having a bad hair day, you know. Take this kid away from me, you know. We fall into love together, into that spiritual realm, into that divinity, that perfection of who we are together. We fall into that together, gazing into the eyes of an infant. Yeah. And to the point where we love it, we feed on it, we recognize it, maybe subconsciously, but we recognize what's there. And if the infant loses attention and attention goes somewhere else, we go, blah, 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 blah. Right? Get back over here. Get back over here and give me your attention, because I'm feeding and sharing and loving this experience in me of sharing, falling into love, into acceptance, into the divinity together. Now the infant, doesn't know anything about this. It just happens. It's just the presence of a child. And we were that child. We came in here like that infant. We came in here totally channeling that essence of the divinity, of the perfection of the God self in this universe. We didn't say, I am separate from that. I have to go to church and learn how to get back connected to it. We knew that truth of who we were without knowing that we knew the truth of who we were. And then along came parents. Now, I'm not going to make parents wrong here, of course, but the job of culture and parenting and domestication of children is to say that you're not exactly what you think you are. You're separate from that. And more important, your commodity of love that we're here to offer you depends on how you behave, how you act, what you know, how you perform, if you're cute or not, and follow the rules. And so we start learning rules, and it starts when we're very, very little, of course, but I think by the time we're 2, we're bumping up against them pretty hard. By then we start knowing who we are and what we want, and we've got our personalities developing, and our dream is developing, and we want what we want. But if it doesn't fit what they want us to want, we're wrong, we're judged, we're rejected, we're even punished, we're mocked, shamed for crying, that kind of thing. And so we have to learn, and that's when we start learning, I'm not this truth that wells up in me from life, from God, from the divine. I am something wrong, and so I have to find out what they want me to do from the outside so I can mock that up while I abandoned this truth that I came in here with. If there was a conspiracy to ruin the lives of adults, to cause us to have difficult relationships with ourselves, friends, neighbors, lovers, that would be the best way to do it. Don't you think? Let's get together and mess up the kids so they'll have a terrible adulthood and have to struggle to be themselves, which they don't even know what it is anymore because we made them be something else. This is how they get people to sign things that they don't want to sign. And, I did it, just leave me alone. Well, what about that place we started? What about that divinity? What about that perfection? And how do we, when we say, God is everything and I'm God, and all the words that we say about being the oneness, how can we really get to that place where we claim that truth and live in it? That's my question for you today. Fortunately, I made up an answer. And without faith, with logic. Okay? This is my antidote to faith. First of all, let's look at the universe. We know there's only one universe here, correct? Oh, come on, go with me. We know that it's perfect however many universes there are. There's only one of that. However many dimensions there are. There's only one totality, and that's what we speak to when we talk about the oneness. There's one of them. No matter how many of them there are, combined, it's still one. Okay? Whew, got out of that one. If there's only one thing, then there can't be a second thing to witness that thing and say whether it's good or bad or right or wrong. Right? Yeah? That's the duality that they teach us after we are forced to sacrifice our oneness. But that duality is a dream of the human mind, and only the human mind. The human mind is the only organ in the universe that says us and them, good, bad, right and wrong, don't like it. Squirrels aren't doing that, you know. Oak trees aren't complaining because the oak tree over there got better soil and it got bigger and it's not fair. This little nugget in our brains is the only place in the universe that does that, but we do it well. So don't want to disparage that. But if there's only one thing, then there's nothing to do that. You can't have one thing and then have something separate from it to judge it and make it wrong. Is my logic working here? Are we going to go with that? Okay. If you're going there then we say that the oneness includes us. Didn't we read that today? I think we all read that together about the God and the one and the togetherness, all that. Okay. If that's true, then we're part of the perfect whole. Yeah? Okay? Pretty easy. We have to be. If there's only one thing, we have to be part of that. And we can name that one thing is perfect because there's nothing to judge it and make it wrong the way it is. Yeah? Okay. If that's true, then my logic says that you can have an imperfect part of a perfect whole. If something's perfect, how could some part of it be imperfect? Yeah? You know where I'm going here? Thou art perfect, part of the perfect whole. Each and every one of us here represents a little tiny little physical fragment of the way that spiritual divine oneness manifested itself to create this entire multi-universe dimensional one thing. But we're no different and not special, not separate from any of it. If we claim or reclaim that perfection, then we're reclaiming our divinity. We're claiming for ourselves that we are a perfect part of a perfect whole, which is imbued by, created by, maintained by, animated by a presence which is throughout the entire thing in its perfection. The presence that creates and animates this universe in its perfection is the same force, the same power everywhere in the universe. You go out and look at a tree outside, and that tree is photosynthesizing and gathering minerals and water from the soil, and it knows how to do it. It knows how to drop the leaves in the fall and make flowers in the spring and grow new bark and heal wounds. It knows how to do all of that. And so do our bodies, and so do we. And the power that the wisdom, the intelligence that animates that tree and guides that tree is exactly the same power and wisdom and intelligence that animates us. There's no difference here. There's no separation. And that's true for exploding novas far, far away in the universe. It's true for the little microbes that are living in the gut of an earthworm in the soil that we never think about. That same wisdom, that same intelligence, that same power that we call God or Spirit or Divine Presence is that power which is animating, creating every single part of this huge, perfect universe, this one whole. And that is the oneness that we talk about when we talk about the oneness of God in the universe. We're it. Duh. Yeah? Now, we got lost along the way, and we said, oh, I'm not that because I'm not perfect. How could I be perfect and be the divine? In fact, I have been taught in different places that only God is perfect. And we have to aspire to be God, to be perfect like God, but we never can be. Now, what kind of a lose-lose is that, I ask you? What kind of a spiritual deal is that? That you have to be as good as God, who's perfect, but you can never be because only God is perfect. And or Jesus. That's frustrating. It's hopeless. And then it gives us a standard by which to judge ourselves as not worthy of that, not being that, and then separate ourselves from that truth and go around complaining like the oak tree doesn't about why we're not like that other person who got a bad deal, premature aging, whatever we're going through. It's my big complaint with God. We were taught to do that. We can unteach ourselves so we don't do that. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? To recognize that, yeah, I'm this body, and, but this body is made out of God. It says in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was made flesh, something like that. Yeah? I never knew what that meant, but I'm going to make something up right now. In the Word, if there was nothing here but the Word, then the Word must be God. There must be that intelligence, that divinity, that wisdom that was the only thing here, and then it was made flesh. It was turned into the universe, it says. So when you're God, and you've got nothing to make anything out of but your word, yourself, and you make stuff, what are you going to make? There's only one thing you can make it out of. Your God self. In the beginning there was only the Word, God, and it was made flesh. In other words, this power, this intelligence, created creation itself, manifested creation out of itself. So what does that make you? God? Yeah, isn't this easy? This is my logic, you see. I don't need faith here. I need logic. We must be God. We must be the divinity. We must be not searching for it, not trying to earn it, manifest it, understand it, but we're already there. You can't get here from there, because we're already here. We're already that magnificent experience of the divine popped up in this particular form, just like it takes the form of an oak tree and a squirrel and the earthworm and the microbes in the gut of the earthworm and the eagle and the galaxies, all made out of the Word, all in different forms, but all made from the same thing. All animated by the same thing. And that's us. How's my logic working so far? It's okay? Yeah? When I take people to the Toltec pyramids in Mexico, there's a time when we do something, and I've never done it away from the pyramids, and it's here. Wow. Okay. This is what I want you to do. Here's my story. That it's like the Word became flesh. That when there was only God, only the divinity here, the divinity was love. It was just wide open as love. And in time, that divinity came to long for a place to share that love, an other to share the love. And so the divinity breathed out creation into the flesh. And creation was born. And then the divinity, God, loved creation with that, only that kind of love that the divine shares, and was joyful. That love was so strong after a while that divinity wanted to merge with the beloved. The beloved was there and wanted to merge with the beloved, and so God breathed in creation and became one with creation. But the longing grew stronger and stronger in order to have a beloved to share that love with. And so God breathed out and creation was born. And then God's longing for union, for merging with that love grew so strong that God breathed in and merged with creation and became one with creation. And the longing for a beloved to share that love with the outside came, and God breathed out. And God breathed in. Do it with me right now. Do it with me. Become that creative power. And as you get ready to exhale, know that your goal, you can't live any longer without a beloved to reflect your perfection, your divinity. And so you breathe out. And creation is born. And your love for creation is so immense and so huge. It builds up in you. Your love is so strong, and yet this desire to merge with your beloved, to be one with your beloved, gets stronger and stronger. And so you breathe in. Breathe in now and breathe in creation and pull it right inside of you and merge with all of creation, with all of your love. Feel your love as the divine for everything in creation, including the human that you are. That love and acceptance that says, there's only one thing here, and it's me. God, the divine, the power. And as you feel that love for your creation, you feel it growing so strong that you want to share it with creation. You want creation to be there as your beloved so that you can honor your creation. You can be in love with your creation. You can nurture your creation. And so you breathe out. So breathe out with me now and breathe out of your divine place all of creation. And in your mind's eye, look around your creation. Look around this earth. Look around the stars in your mind's eye and see the beauty that you create when you breathe out. Oh my God. You are a master creator because you create with your love. And when you look into the reflection of your love, which is the creation that you've made, you see your love reflected back to you. And you feel and experience that love coming back to you as a mirror from your creation because you made it and you made it in your image and it's you and it's perfect and it's beautiful and you can't bear it anymore. You want to merge with it and be one with it. And so you breathe in and you breathe in with me now and merge with creation and be one whole being. Divine Presence, Spirit, Father, Mother, God, be with us in this moment, as us, through us, feeling, remembering, knowing this truth of who we are. And even as I speak out to you, Divine Presence, even as I speak to you as though you were outside of me, I do it knowing the truth. I know that you're not outside of us. I know that you are us. I ask you to help us use every breath to remember this truth, that we are what you are. We are the life, we are the love, we are that which animates creation, and we are creation itself. I am the divine animating this human form, and I am the human form. Every time I breathe in and every time I breathe out, I am the oneness. On both sides of the breath is the same. One love. Divinity and the form of divinity are the same. Rest with me now in this place. Dream it with me. Experience it. Experience this truth inside of you. Feel your breath merging and creating, merging and creating. Breathing in and out. Feel the peace that lives in this place. Feel the love that lives in this place. Bring that love to this human that you are. This perfect divine presence and this perfect divine whole. Bring this love, this acceptance, this truth to this beautiful expression of the divine that you are. You are the Word made flesh. Nothing you have to do to prove it. Nothing you have to do to earn it. It's here for you right now. The truth is here for you right now. I'm going to invite you, if you've closed your eyes to come back into the room, but to come back very gently and very slowly without moving and without thinking. Come into the room as this presence, seeing whatever's in front of you and seeing that it's you. No stories about it, no separation from it. Just coming back. Into this truth that you are in this room. Live it with your eyes open. Right here together. Right now. Allow your eyes to open gently. No stories. Just you as all of this. Let us celebrate our divinity. And so it is.
I just want to thank you, sweet God, for all you bring to me. I just want to thank you. Your love has set me free. I just want to thank you for all you bring.